Hey there, science fans. Today we're diving deep into the microscopic world of cells. Every living thing is made up of cells, and every cell needs a strong, sturdy barrier to protect it from the outside world. That's where the cell membrane comes in. Think of it as the cell's very own security guard or bouncer. Its job, to control what gets in and what stays out. Pretty important, right? Without the cell membrane, our cells would be like open doors, letting anything and everything wander in. Chaos would ensue. But fear not, the cell membrane is here to save the day. It keeps the good stuff in, like nutrients and water. And it keeps the bad stuff out, like toxins and harmful bacteria. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. So, next time you see a bouncer at a club, remember the cell membrane. It's the original bouncer, keeping things organized and safe inside every single one of our cells. Okay, science sleuths, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the cell membrane structure. Its secret weapon? A double layer of phospholipids. Picture two layers of tiny building blocks stacked on top of each other. That's the phospholipid bilayer, and it's as strong as it sounds. Each phospholipid has a head that loves water and a tail that hates it. We call this hydrophilic, water-loving, and hydrophobic, water-fearing, very scientific words. The water-loving heads face out towards the watery environment inside and outside the cell. The water-fearing tails hide inside, away from the water. This unique arrangement creates a barrier that's tough for most molecules to cross. It's like a brick wall surrounding the cell, keeping the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. But, like any good wall, it needs doors and windows, right? That's where proteins come in. Stay tuned for more on those cool characters. Now let's talk about the real VIPs of the cell membrane, proteins. Remember those doors and windows we mentioned? Proteins act like the doormen of the cell membrane, controlling who gets in and who gets out. They're embedded within the phospholipid bilayer, like security guards stationed at every entrance and exit. Some proteins are like revolving doors, allowing certain molecules to pass through freely. Others are more like drawbridges, opening and closing to control the flow of larger molecules. And then there are proteins that act like ID checkers, binding to specific molecules and ushering them across the membrane. These hard-working proteins are essential for all sorts of cellular processes. They transport nutrients, remove waste, and even help cells communicate with each other. Talk about multitasking. Without proteins, the cell membrane would be like a wall with no doors or windows, not very useful. Okay, Science Squad, time for a pop quiz. What do we call it when a membrane lets some things through but not others? That's right, selective permeability. It's a big word, but it describes a really important concept. The cell membrane is selectively permeable, meaning it's picky about who it lets in and out. It's like having a strict guest list for your cell. This selectivity is crucial for maintaining the cell's internal environment. It ensures that the cell gets the nutrients it needs while keeping out harmful substances. For example, water molecules can pass through relatively easily, while larger molecules like glucose need help from those trusty proteins we talked about earlier. So, there you have it. The cell membrane, with its phospholipid bilayer and hardworking proteins, is a masterpiece of cellular engineering. It's a selective barrier that protects the cell, regulates its contents, and allows it to interact with its surroundings. Pretty amazing, right? Until next time, stay curious, science fans.